Clarifying which carbohydrate-rich foods are good for you and which should be limited is the issue of processing. And not just processing, as not all processing is bad, but the degree and the extent of the processing. Our goal is to consume foods as close to as grown in nature with minimal processing. Using these criteria, we can now easily define and classify carbohydrate-rich foods and food products into the good, the bad, and the ugly. First, the very good, unprocessed or minimally processed, unrefined carbohydrate-rich foods. These foods include intact whole grain like brown rice and oats, starchy vegetables like peas and corn, winter squash like acorn or butternut, roots and tubers like sweet potatoes and yams, and legumes like beans and lentils. These foods in their unprocessed or minimally processed state are some of the healthiest foods and should form the base of a healthy diet. Next, the good, processed, unrefined, carbohydrate-rich foods. These are whole grains, but they have been processed into whole grain flour and then made into whole grain food products, but do not have any harmful ingredients added. These include 100% whole grain breads, crackers, tortillas, and dry cereals that are low in fat, salt, and sugar. Next, the bad, processed and refined carbohydrate-rich foods. These are whole grains that have been both processed and refined, having had their bran and germ removed. These include refined grains like white rice, refined flours like white flour, and the foods made from them like white bread. These are best greatly minimized or avoided. Lastly, the ugly, highly processed and refined carbohydrate-rich food products. These include all sugars and sweeteners like white sugar, honey, and molasses, and all junk foods like cake, candies, and cookies. These are best greatly limited or avoided. Realize the first two groups, the very good and the good, are the foods that make up the majority of the calories of the long-lived, healthiest populations. These last two groups, the bad and the ugly, make up the majority of the carbohydrates consumed in America. That is the difference and the problem. I'm Jeff Novick, and that is health news you can really use.